Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Manoj Singh Rana and with me is Vaibhav Srivastava with the evening news. The headlines: very severe cyclonic storm Taukte likely to cross Gujarat coast on Tuesday early morning. Fishermen along western coast advised not to venture into Arabian Sea. Home Minister Amit Shah reviews preparedness for cyclone with Chief Ministers of Gujarat and Maharashtra and Administrator of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes stock of COVID-19 situation with Chief Ministers of Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Puducherry. Country records daily new recoveries of over 3,62,000 people. Delhi to remain under strict lockdown till 24th of this month to contain spread of COVID-19. Punjab government extends restrictions till 31st May, giving directions for strict enforcement of all curbs. India's cumulative COVID-19 vaccination coverage exceeds 18 crore 22 lakh doses. Centre directs states to prevent dumping of dead bodies in the Ganga River and ensure dignified cremation. Over 9,400 metric tons of liquid medical oxygen delivered by railways so far across the country. And in Italian Open tennis, Iga Swiatek wins women's singles title, Novak Djokovic to take on Rafael Nadal in men's singles final tonight. As the number of COVID cases is on the rise, we appeal to our listeners not to lower the guard, follow all the precautions, and all those above 44 years of age who have taken the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine to get vaccinated with the second dose at the scheduled time. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now, the news in detail. A very severe cyclonic storm, Taukte, is likely to intensify during the next 24 hours. It is likely to move north and northwestwards and reach the Gujarat coast in the evening hours tomorrow. It is expected to cross the Gujarat coast between Porbandar and Mahua around Tuesday early morning. The India Meteorological Department, IMD, in its latest bulletin said a very severe cyclonic storm, Taukte, over East Central Arabian Sea moved nearly northwards and lay centered over the East Central Arabian Sea about 120 kilometers of west-northwest of Panjim in Goa, 380 kilometers of south-southwest of Mumbai, 620 kilometers of south-southeast of Veerawal port in Gujarat. Due to the cyclone, light to moderate rainfall will occur in Kerala, Karnataka, Konkan and Goa, Gujarat and Rajasthan. The IMD has advised fishermen along western coast not to venture into the Arabian Sea. Fishermen along and off the Karnataka coast have been asked not to venture into the East Central Arabian Sea till tomorrow morning. Fishermen along and off the Maharashtra-Goa coast are advised not to venture into the East Central Arabian Sea and along and off Gujarat coast into Northeast Arabian Sea till Tuesday. It says those who are out at sea over the North Arabian Sea are advised to return to the coast. The Gujarat government has geared up the state administration to minimize the impact of cyclone Taukte. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani instructed the state administrations to remain on high alert following the danger of very severe cyclonic storm Taukte. Meanwhile, the State Energy Minister Saurabh Patel said that special steps have been taken to maintain the electricity supply in 391 COVID hospitals in 9 districts of the Saurashtra and Kutch. Mr. Patel said that government has also made special arrangements so that functioning of 41 oxygen plants in the cyclone-prone areas will continue uninterrupted. Meanwhile, many parts of Gujarat, including Ahmedabad city, received heavy showers with stormy winds. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
The IMD has issued an orange alert for 5 districts of Mumbai, Thane, Palghar, Ratnagiri and Sindhudurg for tomorrow. In all these 5 places, there will be heavy to very heavy rainfall at isolated places. On the other hand, a red alert has been sounded in Raigad district and it will receive extremely high rainfall tomorrow. Meanwhile, in view of the cyclonic storm Taukte, there will be no vaccination drive in Mumbai at the civic and government-run hospitals.
Kerala witnessed heavy rains in many parts of the state as cyclone Taukte passed through the coast. Coastal regions are facing acute sea erosion. Widespread damage is reported from across the state. Over 4,500 people have been shifted to 141 relief camps in the state. The Met Department has forecast strong winds and rain with lightning in isolated places in the state till Wednesday. Union Home Minister Amit Shah chaired a review meeting with the Chief Ministers of Gujarat, Maharashtra and the Administrator of Dadra Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu today to assess the preparedness of states, union territories and central ministries and the concerned agencies to deal with the situation arising out of Cyclone Tauktae. In the meeting, the Home Minister specifically reviewed the preparedness of all the health facilities, especially adequate power backup arrangements in all COVID hospitals, labs, vaccine cold chain centers and other medical facilities in the areas likely to be impacted by the cyclone. The Home Ministry has already released the first installment of SDRF in advance to all the coastal states. NDRF has pre-positioned 42 teams equipped with boats, tree cutters, telecom equipments in 6 states and has kept 26 teams on standby.
The National Crisis Management Committee, NCMC, under the chairmanship of Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba, today reviewed the preparedness of central and state ministries and agencies to deal with cyclonic storm Tauktae in the Arabian Sea. The Director General of the India Meteorological Department, IMD, briefed the committee about the latest status of the cyclone, which is expected to reach the Gujarat coast on Tuesday morning. Chief Secretaries of the concerned states apprised the committee of the preparatory measures put in place to deal with the cyclonic storm. Adequate stocks of food grains, drinking water and other essential supplies have been arranged, and preparations made to maintain essential services such as power and telecommunications. The NDRF has deployed 79 teams in these states and 22 additional teams are also kept in readiness. Rescue and relief teams of the Army, the Navy, the Coast Guard, along with ships and aircrafts have also been deployed. During the meeting, Rajiv Gauba stressed to take all measures to evacuate people in the areas affected by the cyclone to ensure zero loss of life and damage. Minister of State for Ports, Shipping and Waterways Mansukh Mandavya today reviewed the preparedness of all ports and maritime boards of all states in the western coast of India pertaining to Cyclone Tauktae. In a tweet, Mr. Mandavya said he is directed to take every steps to ensure safety of people with the least possible damage. The minister said ports have assured the readiness to combat the situation.
BJP President JP Nadda held a meeting with party MPs, MLAs and state office bearers of Goa, Maharashtra, Kerala, Karnataka, Gujarat and Daman and Diu through video conferencing regarding the relief work for Cyclone Tauktae. In a tweet, Mr. Nadda said, "We will provide all possible help following the COVID protocols." Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to the Chief Ministers of Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Puducherry today to assess the ground situation in these states due to the second wave of corona pandemic. He also took stock of the pandemic management strategies adopted by the state governments in order to tackle the situation.
The Health Ministry has informed that in the last 24 hours, the nation registered 3,11,170 new COVID cases. Over 3,62,000 people have recovered, and with this the recovery rate is further improved to stand at 84.25%. So far, over 2.7 lakh people have recovered from the COVID-19 infection in the country. The cumulative share of active COVID cases in the country has declined to comprise nearly 14.66% of the total reported cases. Currently, over 36,18,000 people are reported to be suffering from the viral pandemic and are either hospitalized or are under home isolation. 10 states including Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Odisha and Haryana continue to be the major hotspots of the viral pandemic. The Union Health Ministry has issued the standard operating procedure on COVID-19 containment and management in peri-urban, rural and tribal areas. The ministry said a large number of cases of COVID-19 is reported in urban areas. However, a gradual increase is now being seen in peri-urban, rural and tribal areas as well. In view of this, there is a need to enable communities and strengthen primary level healthcare infrastructure at all levels to intensify COVID-19 response in these areas.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Very severe cyclonic storm Tauktae likely to cross Gujarat coast on Tuesday early morning. Fishermen along the western coast advised not to venture into the Arabian Sea. Home Minister Amit Shah reviews preparedness for cyclone with Chief Ministers of Gujarat and Maharashtra and the Administrator of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes stock of COVID-19 situation with Chief Ministers of Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Puducherry. Country records daily new recoveries of over 3,62,000 people. Delhi to remain under strict lockdown till the 24th of this month to contain the spread of COVID-19. Punjab government extends restrictions till the 31st of May, giving directions for strict enforcement of all the curbs. India's cumulative COVID-19 vaccination coverage exceeds 18 crore 22 lakh doses. Centre directs states to prevent dumping of dead bodies in Ganga River and ensure dignified cremation. Over 9,400 metric ton of liquid medical oxygen delivered by the railways so far across the country. And in the Italian Open tennis, Iga Swiatek wins the women's singles title. Men's singles final between Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal underway in Rome. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the evening news. The Delhi government has extended lockdown in the national capital by one more week. Delhi will now remain under strict lockdown till 5 a.m. on the 24th of this month. Informing the decision to the media, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said that substantial gain has been made in the capital city in terms of recovery and reduction in the positivity rate in the past few weeks. He said the government does not want to reverse the early gains made by removing the lockdown. The New Delhi Metro Rail Corporation has said that in the wake of the extension of curfew in the national capital, Delhi metro services on all its lines will also remain suspended till further notice. It said any change in services will be notified. The national capital, Delhi, recorded 6,456 fresh COVID-19 cases today. With this, the total number of cases has gone up to over 13,93,000. The positivity rate in the city dropped to 10.40%, which is the lowest in over a month. Today, 262 deaths were reported, and the death toll in the city due to the pandemic has reached 21,506.
Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh today ordered extension of all the existing restrictions in the state up to the 31st of May with directions for strict enforcement of all the curbs. The Chief Minister reviewed the COVID situation in the state at a high-level meeting in Chandigarh today. Speaking after the meeting, the Chief Minister said the restrictions so far have shown results with some decline in daily cases from around 9,000 to 6,000 in this period. However, he said there is a need to extend the restrictions due to high positivity rate of 13.1% recorded between the 9th and the 15th of May and the case fatality rate reaching 2.4%. In Madhya Pradesh, Corona curfew imposed in Bhopal since April has been extended till the 24th of May in order to stop the spread of the pandemic. Bhopal District Collector Avinash Lavanya issued the orders today about extension of the curfew. The Corona curfew will continue till 6 a.m. on the 24th of May. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
Movement of vehicles related to essential services will be allowed. People engaged in a vaccination drive or going for vaccination and other medical emergencies will be allowed. Other instructions related to opening of shops, etc. will remain same as before. Several other districts have also decided to extend the Corona curfew, including Panna, Baitul, Satna, Guna, Chhindwara, Chhatarpur, Narsinghpur, etc. The extension of curfew is being decided at a local level by crisis management committees on the basis of number of new cases and recovery rates in the districts. Pooja Pivardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
In Jammu and Kashmir, the Corona curfew presently in force in all the 20 districts of the Union Territory has been extended till 7 a.m. on the 24th of May to contain the spread of coronavirus infection. Meanwhile, 4,141 fresh positive cases were reported in Jammu and Kashmir today. The Tripura government has declared Corona curfew in the Agartala Municipal Corporation area from 5 a.m. tomorrow. The curfew will remain in place till 5 a.m. of the 26th of May. Alongside 6 more urban areas across the state have also been declared as containment zones. Briefing the media today, Education Minister Ratan Lal Nath said the State Cabinet has taken the decision to break the chain of transmission of the coronavirus after consultation with the expert groups dealing with COVID-19 pandemic.
Sikkim today reported 340 new COVID-19 cases, taking the state's case tally to 11,410. This is the highest number of cases reported in the state in a single day. Out of the total cases so far, 7,899 have recovered, while 3,096 are active in the state. Sikkim, which is already under restrictions on interstate and intrastate movement and weekend lockdowns, is imposing a complete lockdown from tomorrow till the 24th of May. More from our Gangtok correspondent.
Of the 340 new COVID-19 infections reported on Sunday, East Sikkim reported 193, South Sikkim reported 99 new cases, West Sikkim reported 48 new cases, North Sikkim reported no new cases. New 252 recoveries were also recorded in Sikkim in the last 24 hours. So far, the state has recorded 3,458 new COVID-19 cases and 58 deaths in May. A complete lockdown has been announced in the state during 5 a.m. 17th May to 5 a.m. 24th May after a continued COVID-19 case positivity rate of over 20%, with Sekat Sarkar Paijat Sharma from Gangtok for AIR.
Assam Chief Minister Himant Biswa Sarma reviewed the COVID-19 situation with Deputy Commissioners and Superintendents of Police of the districts through video conference today. The Chief Minister instructed to depute one additional Deputy Commissioner in each district to supervise the vaccination centres. Mr. Sarma also asked the Deputy Commissioners to ensure that critical COVID patients should get treatment even late in the night.
In Rajasthan, about 2.5 times more people recovered from COVID-19 infection as compared to new infections reported in the state in the last 24 hours. Today, 10,290 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in the state, while the number of recoveries was 24,440. The number of active patients was reduced by more than 14,000 in the last 24 hours. More from our Jaipur correspondent.
The number of daily cases of COVID-19 has fallen for 9 days in a row in the state. The positivity rate has also come down to 15% in the last 24 hours. Though new infections has come down in Jaipur, Jodhpur, Udaipur, Kota, Bharatpur and Alwar cities, yet new infections are being reported in a large number in these cities. Rapid antigen test facility is being introduced for early detection of infection in rural areas. Meanwhile, a large number of individuals and institutions have come forward for cooperation with administration and provide them necessary resources to deal with COVID. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
In a first of its kind online conference, Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray today addressed more than 17,000 medical practitioners from different parts of the state. The Chief Minister asked the doctors to participate in mitigating the COVID-19 crisis in the state. Apart from the Chief Minister, members of the state's COVID-19 task force also gave their guidance to the family physicians and medical practitioners who participated in the online conference. We have a report.
Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray made an emotional appeal to the medical practitioners to cooperate with the state government in the fight against COVID-19. The CM said even now around 70 to 75% patients infected with COVID show no symptoms. He urged the medical practitioners to give their service to nearby COVID centers at least once in a day. The CM said that health authorities have been directed to ramp up rapid antigen tests in the state during monsoon. About 3,000 suggestions and comments were made by people during the conference. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Kerala, 29,704 new COVID cases have been recorded in the past 24 hours. The test positivity rate has fallen under 26%. Meanwhile, the triple lockdown will come into effect from tonight in 4 districts, Thiruvananthapuram, Ernakulam, Thrissur and Malappuram, which have high test positivity rates. Entry and exit points of these districts will be closed, and the government has banned all non-essential travel.
The country has administered more than 18 crore 22 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine so far. The Union Health Ministry says that more than 17 lakh 33,000 beneficiaries were inoculated with the COVID-19 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours. Out of this, more than 11 lakh 19,000 beneficiaries were vaccinated for the first dose, and nearly 6 lakh beneficiaries received the second dose of the vaccine. The CoWIN digital portal has been reconfigured to reflect the extension of interval for 2 doses of Covishield vaccine to 12 to 16 weeks. The COVID working group chaired by Dr. N.K. Arora had recommended the extension of the gap between the first and the second doses of Covishield vaccine to 12 to 16 weeks. This was accepted by the central government on the 13th of this month. The centre has communicated the change to states and union territories. The Health Ministry said there have been reports in a section of the media suggesting that people who had pre-booked their appointment for the second dose in less than 84 days on the CoWIN are being turned back from the vaccination centres without getting the second dose of Covishield. It clarified that the requisite changes have now been done in the CoWIN digital portal. As a result, further online or on-site appointments will not be possible if the period after the first dose date for a beneficiary is less than 84 days. Additionally, already booked online appointments for the second dose of Covishield will remain valid and are not being cancelled by CoWIN. Further, the beneficiaries are advised to reschedule their appointments for a later date beyond the 84th day from the date of the first dose vaccination. The centre has reiterated to the states and union territories that the online appointments booked for second dose of Covishield prior to this change of the interval between the 2 doses of Covishield must be honoured.
The centre has said that it plans to ramp up the production of Bharat Biotech's Covaxin from 1.5 crore doses to about 10 crore doses every month. Niti Aayog member Dr. V.K. Paul said total production of Covaxin doses will be further scaled to 13 crore doses a month when 3 public sector undertakings start manufacturing the vaccine. Russian Ambassador Nikolai Kudashev has said that production of Sputnik V vaccine will commence soon in India and the capacity will be gradually scaled up to nearly 850 million doses per year. Speaking to the media after arrival of the second consignment of the Russian COVID vaccine in India today, Mr. Kudashev informed that there are plans to introduce the single-dose Russian vaccine Sputnik Light in the country very soon. The Russian ambassador expressed happiness that India and Russia are jointly fighting against COVID-19.
Sputnik V is the Russian-Indian vaccine. We expect that its production in India will be gradually increased up to 850 million doses per year. There are plans to introduce a single-dose vaccine soon in India, Sputnik Light. The efficacy of the Sputnik V is well known in the world. Back in Russia, it is being successfully used to vaccinate citizens.
The government continues to expeditiously deliver the global aid received from different countries and organizations to states and union territories to supplement their resources and efforts in the fight against COVID-19. Over 11,000 oxygen concentrators, more than 13,000 oxygen cylinders, 19 oxygen generation plants and 5.3 lakh remdesivir vials were dispatched through road and air between the 27th of April and the 15th of May. The Indian Railways has delivered more than 9,440 metric tons of liquid medical oxygen LMO and nearly 590 tankers to various states across the country so far. Nearly 150 oxygen expresses have completed their journey so far and brought relief to various states. 12 loaded oxygen expresses are on the run with more than 970 metric tons of LMO and 55 tankers now. Odisha has dispatched more than 14,000 metric tons of medical oxygen to different parts of the country during the last 24 days. A total of 777 tankers and containers carrying medical oxygen have been sent under the supervision of the Odisha police to as many as 13 states facing oxygen scarcity for COVID-19 patients. More from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
Out of the 4 places in Odisha sending medical oxygen to the oxygen deficient states, the still city of Rourkela has dispatched a high of about 5,700 metric tons so far. Other places like Dhenkanal, Jajpur and Angul too have been sending medical oxygen in varying quantities to states as far away as Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab and Delhi in the north and Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Tamil Nadu in the south. Back home, even as the viral spread is yet to abate in the state, despite being in lockdown for 12 consecutive days as on today, the state government has ordered a complete ban on shooting of films and TV soaps, both indoor and outdoor, till further orders. Here is Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
The centre has directed states to prevent dumping of dead bodies in the Ganga and focus on their safe disposal and providing support for ensuring dignified cremation. Secretary in the Jal Shakti Ministry, Pankaj Kumar, said stopping dumping of bodies as well as their safe disposal and protection of water quality has to be attended to on a war footing. Yesterday, the Secretary reviewed the position and the action taken in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, where the states apprised the latest position and further action points were decided. The Secretary highlighted the instructions already given and wanted expeditious action and also underscored the need to give equal attention to such incidents in urban as well as rural areas along the Ganga and other rivers. The government has asked people not to share pictures and contact details of vulnerable children in distress situation on the social media. Their identity is to be protected as per the law. Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Irani has said police, Child Welfare Committee or Child Line number 1098 should be informed if anyone comes to know of any child who has lost both parents to COVID and has no one to take care of them. Talking to AIR News, National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, NCPCR Chairperson Priyank Kanungo said such children should be taken to Child Welfare Committee, which will take necessary action in the best interest of the child.
कोविड टाइम्स में जिन भी बच्चों ने अपने माता पिता को खोया है, उन सभी बच्चों को ये जरूरी है कि जिले की चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमेटी के सामने प्रस्तुत किया जाए। वो कमेटी ही तय करेगी कि उन बच्चों को लीगली फ्री फॉर अडॉप्शन किया जाना है, उनके परिवार के साथ रखा जाना है, कैसे उनकी वेलबींग इंश्योर होगी। इसके लिए जो कानून से मैंडेटेड स्थान है वो चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमेटी है डिस्ट्रिक्ट की। अगर किसी भी व्यक्ति को ऐसे किन्हीं बच्चों के बारे में पता चलता है जिन्होंने अपने माता पिता को खो दिया है, तो वो 1098 हेल्पलाइन पर फोन करें, नजदीकी थाने में जाकर खबर करें अथवा चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमेटी को बताएं।
In Italian Open tennis, Polish teenager Iga Świątek has won the women's singles title. 15-seed Świątek defeated 9-seed Czech Karolina Pliskova 6-0, 6-0 with what is known as a double bagel score in the Summit Clash in Rome this evening that lasted just 46 minutes. The men's singles final between world number 1 Serbian Novak Djokovic and 9-time winner Rafael Nadal is underway in Rome. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi is likely to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. In Mumbai, the minimum temperature will be 26 degrees Celsius while the maximum is expected to be around 36 degrees. Srinagar will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Jammu, the temperature of minimum will be 23 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 37 degrees. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky. Muzaffarabad is also likely to have partly cloudy skies.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Very severe cyclonic storm Taute likely to cross Gujarat coast on Tuesday early morning. Fishermen along western coast advised not to venture into the Arabian Sea. Home Minister Amit Shah reviews preparedness for cyclone with Chief Ministers of Gujarat and Maharashtra and Administrator of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes stock of COVID-19 situation with Chief Ministers of Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Puducherry. Country records daily new recoveries of over 3,62,000 people. Delhi to remain under strict lockdown till 24th of this month to contain spread of COVID-19. Punjab government extends restrictions till 31st May. India's cumulative COVID-19 vaccination coverage exceeds 18 crore 22 lakh doses. Centre directs states to prevent dumping of dead bodies in Ganga River and ensure dignified cremation. Over 9,400 metric tons of liquid medical oxygen delivered by railways so far across the country. And in Italian Open tennis, Iga Świątek wins women's singles title. Men's singles final between Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal underway in Rome. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.
है।